Did you know that the top 10% of SDRs generate over 50% of the qualified leads? Did you also know that the top 4% of sales professionals earn 40 to 50 times more than the bottom 20%? If you're watching this video, I'm going to assume that you want to be in the top 4%. That's great because today I'm going to be going over some tips that help me become the top SDR in my organization's 10 plus year history. I was later promoted and went on to bring in over $20 million worth of business for the organization. So if that sounds good, let's get into it. Okay, so what's an SDR? You probably know this if you're watching the video. An SDR, sales development representative, essentially it's the person that generates leads, generates interest for the closers, the account executives. Basically, they're the appointment setters, the cold callers, the prospectors of an organization. So, what typically holds an SDR from succeeding in the role? I'm going to put it into three main issues I typically see, and usually it's a mix. A couple of them. One is the fear of rejection, right? You get a lot of hangups, a lot of no's, right, when you're prospecting. The other is just going to be the position. The work can be quite repetitive, right? Monotonous. So I'd essentially say it's boring for a lot of people. And the other is going to be time management as well. And this is probably the biggest one that really kills people. Poor time management. They essentially do everything they can to not pick up the phone and actually do the dials, do the work necessary to get the results. So to be successful with the role, I'd essentially break it up into a couple different areas. Things that are in your control and things that are not in your control. Things that are not in your control. To be successful with the role, you need to have a very strong work ethic. You need to be very money motivated, and you need to have essentially what I would call grit. The uncommon ability to get hung up on, get told to F off day in, day out, and just come back asking for more. Now you might say, oh, well, you can't control your work ethic. Oh, you can't control your grit. Yes and no. Obviously, you can control your body to do whatever the heck you want, right? But some of these things, I think they really need to come deep down inside of you. So if you aren't money motivated, there's nothing I can say to change that, right? If you don't have a good work ethic, you can't just wave your magic wand and become a hard worker, right? And these are absolutely crucial things to become a successful SDR. Yeah, so much so to where if you don't have those three things, I would stop watching the video and go find another profession. They are that crucial. Those three things I just mentioned. But let's just say you do have a good work ethic. You are money motivated, and you do have a lot of grit. Let's go to things that you can control. What I'd be looking for in an SDR role, especially when you're getting started off, is a good mentor, a good trainer, a good mentor. Actually, someone in the organization who is above you, has a lot more experience, who is going to be able to train you and set you up for success. Absolutely crucial, and that's definitely something you can look for in the organization, right? Hey guys, if you are getting value out of this video and you want similar videos such as this, learn how to optimize your sales process, smash quotas, and other awesome sales related content like this, please subscribe down below. Thank you. Also, a native or near native level of English. Well, why is this? Because particularly so much of this is going to be done via the phone, prospecting, cold calling. But even if it's a cold email and you get a response, you're probably going to have to call them at some point anyways, which means you have to use your voice. Okay, and nothing will get a hang up faster than if you come on with a strong accent. And you might say, oh, Jacob, that's not nice. People shouldn't judge you by the way you sound. Yeah, I know they shouldn't, but the problem is that they do, right? And so, if you don't have a native or a near native accent in the language in which you are trying to sell in, it's going to be very difficult for you to be successful at that role. However, I did put that in something you can control. You can always improve your language skills, and so it's definitely in your control to do so. Also, last thing on what you can control is you need to make sure that whatever the product is you're selling and the company you work for are good products and it's a reputable company. You're going to have so much headwinds against you if the product you're selling sucks or the company you're selling for has a ton of bad reviews, right? It's kind of a crap product company, clients aren't satisfied, because people are going to look these things up once you call them, and if all they're going to see is negative reviews, it is going to be so hard to get them to actually show up for meetings and things like this. So make sure that whatever you're selling is good and the company you work for has a good reputation as well. Now, if you were just getting started off at an SDR, here are 3 tips I would give you. All right. Number one is going to be, you really want to find the most successful person in the role at your organization currently, or someone who was the most successful person at the organization, and essentially find out what they did or they're doing and mimic that. All right. So that would include listening in to your colleagues' calls. That is crucial. Understanding the scripting, the mentality, everything, the way they set up their day. Essentially find who's been really successful at this, ask them, and almost everyone, if they're successful, there is an abundance of leads. There's an abundance of prospects to call. It's not a scarcity mindset. People who are good at it have an abundance mindset, and so they will be happy to share with you if you ask and take an interest, right? Tip number 2, commit to studying daily. Daily improvement and daily studying, which is going to include a couple different things. Studying your own tapes, right? Listen to recordings, listen to the hang-ups, listen to the ones that went well, see what you did, see how you sounded, like the tonality, the way you deliver the lines, all that good stuff, and use that to improve. Actually, just in general, studying tapes, even when you get promoted, become an account executive, tape studying is one of the most useful things you can possibly do to get better at sales. So studying your tapes, but that also would include with the daily study, studying other sales professionals, as in professional sales training, tapes, sales books, podcasts, courses, things like that. That's all part of the training. But seriously, doing it daily, really important, and you will start to see your skills just skyrocket. And the third tip, which this one I stumbled across a little bit later than I would have liked. This one would have saved me the most amount of time. I think I would actually have been successful for even faster had I heard this, is the importance of blocking off blocking off uninterrupted prospecting time. They're sometimes referred to as power hours, but essentially what you do is you block off an hour to where this hour, all I'm going to do is prospect. Okay, but it's like, okay, I'm gonna work that time. No, it's all you're going to do is you're going to have everything ready. You're going to have the lists ready. You're not going to be updating the CRM. You're not going to be talking to your colleagues. You're not going to be going to the bathroom, taking a break. It is an hour of, if that's you're doing dials, just uninterrupted calls down the list, and you will find that it is amazing what you're able to get done in an hour, 1 power hour. And do at least 3 of those a day. If you're a full-time prospector, that shouldn't be too difficult, but you do have to protect those times. So meetings, clients calling you back, things like this. Well, clients calling you back, if it's from your prospecting, I pick that up. But my point is uninterrupted time where you're doing nothing else. Okay, so power hours, and I do at least 3 of them a day. And just doing that alone, if you just do the power hours, everything else is basically going to take care of itself. If you're able to get this one thing right. It sounds easy, but trust me, much easier said than done. Okay. And that's it for today, guys. I hope that was helpful. If you got comments, questions, drop them down below and I'll get back to you. Thank you.